Hello there, you absolute legends. Emma McElhinney here with Piss Off Perimenopause and the musings of a bullshit queenager. I am here to ruin your misconceptions about perimenopause, fat loss, and kick midlife in the face. So if you think your 40s are a drag, think again. Because every week I am going to be stripping down the myths about perimenopause. I'm serving you raw, unfiltered truths about your health and smashing misconceptions about fat loss. And a whole lot more. So if you thought you knew midlife, you don't know the half of it. Aging is inevitable, but getting old is a choice. So buckle up, grab a glass of something yummy, and let's get to it. Yo. Welcome to the next episode of Piss Off Perimenopause and the musings of a bullshit. Emma, how are you? I hope you're good. It's actually been a couple of weeks since I've recorded a podcast, and the reason for that is because I have been an emotional wreck. But I'm feeling quite good this week. Last week, I had probably the most emotional week that I've ever had in my entire life. I was crying every day. And if you don't know the reason, well, you have to go back and find my emails. But let's just say life is very different than it has been for the last 14 years. So last week, I spent all week crying, couldn't stop crying, I was a mess, but I'm back to normal now. And then actually last week on Wednesday, my period came. So, how much of my emotions are hormonal and how much are they driven by emotion? Anyway, let's get at today. So today's topic is a big one. And it's actually something that I personally have done a lot of work on over the years. And it's perfect episode for those that might feel that you don't have a particularly positive relationship with food, or you find yourself doing making, I don't want to say poor choices, that's not the right phrase. Anyway, but we're going to be talking about the concept of I just love food. Just love food. And this is actually inspired by a client of mine who on our coaching call, she just said, I just love food. So we had a chat about that. And actually the question I want you to consider, so if you're in a place you go, I just can't stop eating because I just love food. Do you love food or do you love eating? Two very different things. Now, the people, if you say that you love food and you just can't stop eating, typically, and not everybody, but typically that means you might be overeating on foods that make you feel good, i.e. they give you, a sugar rush, or they give you spike your blood sugar, things like your chocolate or your refined carbohydrates, all these kind of things. So it tends to be when people say, I just can't stop eating, I just love food, they're not eating broccoli and they're not eating lettuce. They tend to be eating foods that are more snack based or might not be typically good for them, right? So that's your first question. Do you love food or do you love eating? Now, you might not know the answer to that immediately. And the best way to find out the answer is to try it out. So next time that you're in a place where you're eating and you're eating and you're eating, you can't stop eating, I want you to just take a second and recognize what it is that you're eating and does it taste good? Now, very often, and again, this is typically very often when we're in a place where we can't stop eating, whether it's evening munchies or alcohol munchies or boredom munchies or stress munchies or comfort munchies, you tend to eat it without even recognize what you're doing. It tends to be quite an automatic thing. So let's take a packet of crisps, family packet of crisps, as an example, right? And I take crisps because I really do love crisps. But you've got your hand in the bag and you're just doing that automatic into the bag, into the mouth, into the bag, into the mouth, into the bag, into the mouth. And the first couple of mouthfuls, you go, oh, that's delicious. But then after that, like, you're not really tasting it. You're not even properly chewing it. You're not even taking part in the eating experience. So that's the first is to go, right, okay, halfway through, are you tasting these and are you enjoying them? And if the answer is, oh, I don't even know what I'm tasting, I don't even know what I'm doing, then you're not enjoying the food, you're enjoying the eating. And it's normal, like this is all normal, but this is all part of the education process. So if you identify that actually it's not the food, because very often it's the junk food, it's crap food, it's food that has got a shit ton of chemicals to make it taste good. So I want you to start properly enjoying the food that you're eating, doesn't matter what it is. Like, so if it is the junk food, if it is the crisps, if it is the chocolate, the cake, the whatever, take your time over it. Like, just really check in with yourself, taste it, enjoy the texture, chew it, swallow it, give it a pause before eating another. I'm not telling you to not do it, because this is where very typically, if we are prone to binge type behaviors or mindless eating, I don't want to tell you to not do it. That is pointless. You've already told yourself over the years to not do it, and you still do it. So me telling you not to do it doesn't make a blind bit of difference. What I'm asking you to do is keep doing it, but do it differently. So chew, taste, swallow, chew, taste, swallow, and start trying to identify what it is that you're tasting. Like, does this taste really nice? Does this texture feel really good? And just paying attention to the food that you're eating, because, you know, mindless eating is so common. You know, we all eat on the run. We're all really busy. We're all doing this. And studies tell us that when we go through life like normal working mums or normal working women, when we're eating food on the run, when we're eating meals quickly, we're over consuming by about 20% calories. So we're 20% over what our calories should be, just because of the speed of eating. And the reason that happens is because it takes 15, 20 minutes for your brain to know that your stomach has had enough food. 15, 20 minutes. So if you're scarfing a full meal in less than 5 minutes, you're not even going to know that you're full up yet. Even though, like, the volume of food in your plate, where you would go, God, I've eaten a lot, but I'm still not full, and you might keep eating. So you're over consuming. So that's why slowing down your eating and really checking in with the taste and the texture can be a really powerful tool to control calories in. So it's just another tool on being able to. Another reason why we can overconsume food really easily is, especially, this is really common with women that have done a lot of dieting over the years. They've spent so long trying to be hungry, and, you know, can't eat, can't eat, I can't eat, can't eat. That so many women, the hormone response to being full and to being satisfied and to being hungry, they've gone out of whack. So there's hormones that are responsible for telling us that we're hungry, and there's hormones responsible for telling us that we're full. But if you've been a chronic dieter over the years, these hormones really don't know their arse from their elbow. So very often we completely lose sight of what it feels like to be hungry, like actually physically hungry, or versus what it feels like to be emotionally hungry. And there's a couple of key differentiators to hunger. So emotional hunger comes on suddenly, like, I need to eat now. It doesn't pass the apple test. So I'm really hungry, I need to eat now, right? Have an apple. Do one apple, right? You're not physically hungry. It can feel like you can actually be satisfied. That tends to be emotional hunger. But if the hunger comes on slowly and you have a physical reaction, like your belly's starting to rumble, you're starting to feel a little bit, some people get a little bit angry, I get a little bit hangry, don't know about anyone else, but you start getting a little bit, can't focus quite as clearly, then it's more likely to be the physical hunger than the emotional hunger. So that can be quite an interesting experiment to do with yourself as well. Try the apple test or the lettuce test. Like, if you're not going to have those, then chances are you might not be physically hungry. But anyway, going back to the whole notion of loving food versus loving eating. Eating as an action is a soothing action. Well, it tends to be for most people. So most people will eat out with hunger. If they're not eating for physical hunger and they're eating for emotion, it's comfort that they're seeking. It's the I need to do something, or I need to feel something. And that's, you know, typically a sign of a damaged relationship with food, that we're using food to soothe us or to evoke an emotion. So it's definitely worth thinking about more, and definitely worth writing down, you know, having a notebook with you at all times, so that when you do go, oh my God, I'm hungry, you write it down and you check, you know, like, what is going on? Am I actually hungry, or did I just eat a 2-course meal 20 minutes ago? Probably not actually hungry. What is the emotion that I'm trying to overcome here? And a lot of our relationship with food stuff, pretty much all our relationship with food stuff, comes from our childhood, and how what we believe to be true about food or how we were raised, what we were told about food. And we're of a generation where typically mums, grannies, and aunties would have been caught up in that early diet culture. You know, the Rosemary Conley, and I think Weight Watchers was going then. Or I've had countless clients that have been dragged to diet clubs, pre-teens, being told that they're fat. And they've been on some form of a diet pretty much ever since. So if you think about, you know, what that does to somebody over the years, it completely changes what they believe to be true about themselves and what they believe to be true about nutrition. And it's not, you know, it's not impossible to change. It just takes more inner work than you might think. It's not another diet. It's not the nutrition work. Yeah, it does need, there's education around, well, what is the right nutrition for sure. But for the most part, it's understanding more about you as an individual and unpicking some of these thoughts and committing to yourself that you can change them, but it's not as a magic wand solution. It's not a magic wand situation. So my advice is, if you're a fast eater, or if you're eating on the run, or if you do believe that you just love eating or you just love food, slow it down. Taste your food, enjoy your food. Don't try and change what you're eating for now. Don't try and stop if you're trying to overcome like binge eating behaviors, compulsive eating behaviors, secret eating behaviors. Don't try and stop that, because you've tried that before and that's just relying on willpower and it's not going to last very long. The first step that I want you to do is to get really honest with yourself. And when you are taking part in some of those activities, taste the food. Slow the chewing down, check in with the textures, and start writing stuff down. You know, how does it taste? How does it feel? What emotions were you feeling when you were eating it? What emotions did you feel before you ate it? Give yourself permission to have it, because that can change so much. Rather than beating yourself up for doing it, give yourself permission to do it. Just go, right, I'm going to have this and I'm really going to enjoy it. And just check in and see how that feels. Do the wee journaling exercise, you know, what it tastes like, how does it feel, the texture, how do you feel afterwards? Did you enjoy it? Would you do it again? And start thinking along that type of work rather than the, oh my God, I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do it. And then you find yourself doing it and then you beat yourself up for the rest of the day for doing it. So change how you deal with it, change how you operate, and that will ultimately change your actions further down the line. There's a lot more work that can be done about that, but that's just the first step. So I thought that might be quite a helpful wee thing today. But let me know how you got on in the DMs, either Facebook or Instagram, or you can email me at emma@team@emw and let me know how you got on with that. As I say, this type of stuff is not easy and there's no one size fits all. I do have a wee workbook that I can share with you. In fact, I'll pop the link in the comments that you can use for this type of stuff. But yeah, and if you are, you know, one of the big challenges that we have is, you know, a lot of people have been operating in this way for decades, and it's only until you get into your 40s and your body changes and your metabolism slows down and suddenly your body basically displays your actions. So like you might gain weight, you might have this mid tummy, this torso growing, where you might never have had it before, because it's easier to manage the body balance when you're younger, and it's only till you get into your 40s you go, holy crap. And then you need to look deeper into your actual behaviors. So yeah, it is really common. If this is happening to you, don't panic, it's fine. Download the wee workbook, work your way through it. If you do want more support with it, you can let me know. If you do want to chat about it, you can let me know. But yeah, changing your actions around it is the first step. So I hope that's helped someone today. Have a top-notch week, depending on when you're listening. And please don't forget to like, comment, and share. It means so much to get. I mean, over the past couple of weeks, I've had loads of nice comments and messages. So I would love for this podcast to get bigger and be shared with more people who need to hear it. So share it, please. Share it all over the world. Yeah. Or even just your town or your friend group. That would be cool. But yeah, I will speak to you in the next one. And don't forget, you can download that wee thing. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. And I'll see you in the next one. And just like that, we have spiced up another episode of Piss Off Perimenopause and the musings of a bullshit queenager. Massive shout out and a huge thank you for hanging out with me today. I really hope you've been entertained. And remember, don't be shy, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, keep those heels high and standards higher. Remember, it's all about glowing, growing and downright owning it. So catch you on the flip side, and don't forget to click the link in the show notes to get your freebie.